Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to get into the thick of it. We are going to build a project or client portal together. I'm going to show you the Notion side of things, and I'm going to show you the make.com side of things, the automation that powers the whole thing. So I've hinted at this in previous videos, so this is going to be a real deep dive. So make yourself a cup of tea, coffee, whatever you need to do to relax, and yeah, pause the video whenever you need to, because I hope this is going to become a nice reference point for you. I've got 10% left on my battery. Hopefully that's enough. Just more incentive to do this quickly. Okay, so let's jump into the sort of plan for this video. So what we're going to build, I just said we're going to do a Notion and a make scenario. Now the make scenario is based off a existing solution by a YouTuber called Matthias Frank. Really cool dude. He's super into Notion, so full credit to him. I'm going to link his channel in the description. But the reason why I'm sharing this is that I feel like I've improved it by adding a key piece of functionality in Notion and in Make, which makes the whole solution a lot more dynamic and scalable. So that's why I feel like I can make this video, because I feel like it's contributing to the space. So I'll highlight the parts that I have done when I go through the video. But yeah, stick around, and once you've understood the concepts, feel free to grab the make template below. It's just a JSON file. You don't need to give me your email or sign up or anything like that. It's just a straight up Google Drive. So take it. It's my gift to you. The only thing I ask is if you like it, and if you find it valuable, then please give me a thumbs up, even better, a subscribe, because I'm going to be doing a bunch more of these videos. I'm really starting to get into this YouTube thing. It's really fun. So why do we need this? Granular database permissions. You're probably aware of this. It's one of the biggest faux pas that Notion has done, which is basically you cannot invite people into your databases and give them access to only certain parts of your database. So for example, if you have a project that's full of client tasks, you usually want to invite your client in and just let them see those tasks, right? But Notion doesn't let you do that. You have to expose your whole tasks database, which is terrible for plenty of reasons. So this basically solves that whole thing. So what's the solution? Basically, we're going to create a specific client tasks database every time we create a project portal, and invite your client to A, the portal, which I'm going to show you in a second, and B, invite them to the tasks database that is specific for them. So that is basically the workaround for this solution, and the automation handles all the syncing, which I'll show you in a second. So basically, yeah, you create your project tasks as normal internally in your tasks database, and then like magic, they get copied and synced over to your client's database. So you kind of see this as like two sides of one coin. You've got like an internal view and a public view, which is where you interact and chat with your client, and which is where they can see all the tasks and have the standard functionality of a project portal. So let's jump over and create a project. So this one is called Tesla. Just signed. Elon Musk just called me today. Cool dude, cool dude. So we are going to look at this property in a second, which is what powers the whole dynamic thing that I was speaking about before. But before we do that, let's just simply click on my template, which is project portal, which is going to generate a few things. And hopefully less than a minute. I know Notion can be pretty slow sometimes. Oh, come on, Notion. Come on, Notion. I'm on a YouTube video here. You can do better than this. All right, while that loads, I'm going to... There we go. Wow. Isn't that mental how long it takes? So I'm going to just clear up some things because we don't need them, and for simplicity's sake. The main two things here are some project portal information and project status, which is like your tasks, right? So we don't need this either. You might see this cool button here, set up project portal. Everything I'm about to show you, I'm actually working on kind of a V2, which you won't have to do any of this in the future. You can just click this button, which is pretty sick, and it will set up the whole thing for you. But what we need before we go into this page, which will become the Tesla project portal, is we need to set up that client database. So let's jump over to my databases. I have a kind of a template here with a bunch of instructions. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this template. And hopefully less than a minute. Hey, now you were fast. Okay. I'm going to call this Tesla, and it's just going to be tasks. So this is where the client is going to see and have access to their tasks, but we're going to have it in a bit of a nicer view, which I'll show you in a second. The main thing in here is that you want these tasks to be accessible by your make integration, which you can see it already is. And obviously your make integration needs to have access to your project as well, which you can see it has there. So all I do here is I am going to click copy link on this new Tesla task. I'm going to jump over to another database that I've made, which is basically just full of client DB IDs. Now I need this ID to make this whole thing really dynamic. This is going to make sense in a second, but let me just paste this in. Oh my Lord. What the hell happened there? Let's try that again. Oh, I pasted this the wrong thing. Okay, wait. I need to give this a name first, so just call this Tesla tasks. I need to paste that in here. There we go. Then it extracts the ID out with a kind of a formula, and then I can reference this from a relational field and just have access to this ID. So I'm going to show you. If we jump back to the Tesla project, by the way, this whole side is private. The client cannot see this, which is great. I need to connect up that database to here so that my make integration is going to work properly. And it will work for this project, and it will work for any other project that I make in the future. So all I do is I just click the Tesla tasks item, and that's it. I'll show you what that does in a second, but that is basically key, and that's one of the cool things that I've added to the existing solution. So let's make a task. Oh, first, before we do that, I'm going to just show you the, let's make the project portal. So this is what you would like share with your client, like, hey, invite them to the project portal. I just have a template here that we're just going to pull in all the blocks into. So let's do that. Paste that in here. Right, you've now got a nice client portal. Let's make a nice cover. No, fuck it. This guy pouring something into another bucket is going to do for the purposes of this video. So just a brief overview, like, yeah, you have an intro. They can book a project kickoff meeting with you here via Calendly. This is kind of what I do. A few onboarding steps. But the stuff that we're interested in here is the project status. So we basically want to reflect this project status over in their side or their page that they have access to. So we're going to create a linked view of database, and we're going to add the Tesla tasks DB, which I just made. So as you can see, this is coming from the Tesla tasks. So you would share this page, and you would share this database with the client, and that's it, which solves this whole like permissions issue. So the cool thing is now, with make running in the background, every time I add a task here, it's going to magically appear on their side, but they're not the same item. They're like a synced version of it. And there are some cool benefits to having like two versions of one item, which I'll show you in a second. So let's make a task. Do a thing. And I'm going to click this key checkbox right here called sync. Now that is going to tell the make automation, which in my case runs every hour. Pardon the grandfather clock. I'm in a weird Airbnb at the moment. But this sync checkbox here is going to tell the make integration, okay, I want to make this public. And if I unsync it, I'm basically telling them integration, I don't want to make this public. So for example, this could be like a task like collect remaining 50% of the invoice, right? I don't want the client to see that, but I may want to, set a reminder for somebody in here to do that, or a reminder for myself. So you can hopefully see how powerful it is to have the ability to kind of publish things publicly or hold things internally. But for this, we want do a thing to appear on their active column as well. So let's go over to the integration and just come back. Okay, so this is the integration. I'm going to get into the specifics in a second, but basically it runs every X amount of minutes, in my case every 60 minutes, and it just looks for the latest updated DB items. So let's run this whole thing. Actually, before I run it, I'm going to just briefly explain what it does. It finds tasks that have that checkbox ticked, and then has 3 branches. Is it new? Cool, I'm going to create like a new version of that in the client side. Has it been updated? Like, has the title changed? Has the status changed? Cool, I'm going to reflect that change over in the client side. And then have I unchecked that task, i.e. do I want it to stop syncing? If so, then like remove that from the client side. So I'm going to show you all 3 in action. So if I hit run once now, we should go up this new item branch, if all is well in the world. Come on, make scenario. Don't make me look silly on YouTube. Yeah, awesome. So now this is doing its thing. So this is our side, do a thing. And we have a do a thing on their side. 5% battery left on my phone. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause this, wait. Okay, I'm back. Just had to get a portable charger for my phone. I'm recording on a phone, it's ridiculous, but it will change soon. Anyway, you can see here that on the Tesla tasks, which is a completely different database to this task right here, let me just prove to you that it is. If I do show database title, this is coming from my internal tasks. You can see we have a replica here, which is sick. So the client has this huge benefit of a client portal, which is seeing the status of your tasks, like what column they're in. And then they can come in and you would chat to them inside this comment section and possibly share materials inside the task section if that's how you want to do it. But the key thing is anything that I write underneath this orange text, which is, you know, my thoughts, my working space, my passwords, my whatever, does not sync over, which is super cool. In fact, I'm going to show you that in action now. So I'm going to write all this yada, yada, yada in here. And I'm also going to write a comment to my mate, Mitch, like, test, ignore, so he doesn't actually read it. But I'm going to say, like, oh my gosh, we've only got 2 days left, you know, stuff that you are going to talk about with your team, but you don't want the freaking client to see this in this task, right? Left to do this. So I'm going to show you now, if I, let's say, change the status of this. So if I do a thing, edited, right? This is now going to pick up and run down this updated item. And none of that stuff, the comments or the task stuff, is going to get copied over into the client side. So let's run this, and we should go down the updated path now. And it will update the client task name. Yeah, here we go. Cool. So that's worked. So do a thing edited on their side. It's called do a thing edited. So it's still nice and clean. They don't see anything. So it's really cool. You can use your internal tasks to do a bunch of things and not worry that the client is going to see it. So I think this is a hugely powerful part of this. So the last step, I will just prove to you now that it works. If you unsync, I'm basically saying that, okay, I want to remove this from my client's view, right? So let's run it manually. Again, you wouldn't be running this manually. You would just have this on and it would be running every hour. So let's run that now. And we should go down this bottom path and stop syncing. And stop syncing means, you know, take it from here and remove it from the client side. So you can see it's really powerful. You have complete control, which is amazing. Now I'm going to show you exactly what's happening here. Like how are these things syncing up, right? So this is the key part of the whole thing, is this client DB reference to this client DB IDs I had here. And what's happening if I open up the properties? I am basically doing a roll up on those Tesla tasks from the client DB. So I'm getting the extracted ID, and then I am using a formula just to format it into text. This might be needless because I think rollup actually goes into text. I forget if it does or not now. I must have done this for a reason. So I'm formatting this just to be text. Why? So the reason why is because in each task that you create, again, if I open up the more properties, there's a bunch of tasks here, but I am referencing the the client DB ID. Now these are, so this is getting pulled from basically that information there. Now why is this important? Because if you have multiple project portals running at once and then this runs, this scenario needs to know, like, okay, what project portal does this belong to? Like, where do I need to sync over to? So the great thing is here is I am grabbing that client DB IDF, and that is making up my database ID. So this is what makes this so powerful. You can have multiple concurrent running project portals, and each time this runs, this could be picking up like the last 10 edited or newly added or unsynced tasks that are coming from different project portals, but it's knowing exactly like which which client tasks database to sync and unsync them from. So it just makes it super nice and dynamic. So that is the key part of what's happening here. And then the last part of what's happening here is inside a task, each task has an ID, which is just an ID of the page, which is just a formula. So each task has an ID, and it also has a corresponding ID, and that corresponding ID corresponds to the copied version in the client tasks DB. So you basically use these two IDs to kind of catch each other in this make integration, and so that you know which task has changed and how, and if there's a task changed on here, you know which task exactly to make that change over on the client side. So that's the key part of this. If you're going to build this yourself, you need, on each task, you need an ID and you need a corresponding ID. And then on your client DBs, you need the same thing. If I just make a new one here, you need a ID and a corresponding ID. If you have these two, then this make integration is going to work flawlessly. And not forgetting this client DB reference here as well. So as you can see, it's not a super easy thing to like package and sell. So this is why I'm not trying to like sell this. I'm just trying to show you that it's possible. So yeah, I hope this makes sense. I know it's a bit tricky, so I fully expect some questions in the comments box. But if you're up to the challenge, go ahead, take the make.com template and have a go. Because I've got this working in my company and it works like a freaking charm. I've done it a couple of times now. And the clients have said to me, it's awesome. You get all the benefits of working inside a client portal, and you've got all this cool extra functionality which I've added, which is this like dynamic behavior and ability to have things private with this unsync and syncing functionality. So I know there's a lot to take in, but I hope it made sense. Hit me with any questions in the comments box below, and until next time, see you later. Bye.